For a car lover, this is like Christmas morning. We are going to the Ultimate Car Lovers event on the Ultimate Car Lovers weekend, which is Dawn Patrol at Pebble Beach.
This car is a famous car.
Yeah.
1955 300 SLR, but not any SLR, it's 722.
This is the car that went 1,000K in 10 hours with Moss and Jenkins.
This is the very car. Inline 8-cylinder motor, tube-frame chassis, inboard brakes, and if you take a look on the inside, it's really quite shocking how these sat. It's almost like riding a horse. If you take a look at this, it's all rather tiny, and this guy had to sit on the left side of the vehicle, and he was pumping this and basically pushing fuel forward to the engine. Chain drive too, you can imagine shifting this, you know, your arm is just slightly away from this chain that's moving at massive speed. Artillery wheels, the time wooden wheels.
Wooden spoke.
Yeah, it's a good example of an early Mercedes Grand Prix car.
It's safe to say this was the most famous car in the world for a good length of time.
It was the fastest thing in the world, really. You know, there was nothing faster than this, not an airplane. They said as fast as a bullet. Car ran 141 miles an hour on the sand in Florida. Absolutely record-breaking car. 200 horsepower, 21 and a half liters, 4-cylinder.
So when they say there's no substitute for cubic inches, this is where it started.
This is absolutely it.
Tommy, we're standing in front of an 1894 Benz Victoria. This is an unrestored car.
I bought it from the first owner. That means I bought it 3 years ago. This family bought it directly from Car Benz. It's a demonstrator cars and kept it for 115 years.
This is the first four-wheeled car. You know, the first car that Car Benz made was a three-wheeler, and he invented this axle system, which we still use today. Modernized, of course, but it's still the same system. And so he invented a new ignition system that made it possible, like on this car, to have 400 to 600 revs, which will speed the car.
A funny detail, we have the first ticket he got in 1800, speeding ticket in 1895. He was punished with 3 marks to pay because of too high speed. You must understand and know that this car has a maximum speed of 23, 24 kilometers per hour. And to show that it was true, the police said that in the restaurant nearby, the curtains were dangling because he was racing with such a speed.
This really is kind of the change in the automotive age. We have here a 1904 Simplex. The name Simplex came from a marketing campaign that they said it's so easy to drive, it's Simplex.
It doesn't look totally simplex to me. What is this whole row of...
This is not a trumpet. This is an oiling system, and you did not have a circulating oiling system at the time, and it was still a total loss system. So you had to monitor that. You have a little sight glass in here, so you had quite a lot going on still.
With all these cars that are buffed and waxed to within an inch of their life, this one stands out.
And this is what you would call a heavy sense of patina on the car, and it's nice to see an original car. My understanding, this car has never been restored, so it is as it left the factory. Some people would say, well, why don't you restore it? And I personally feel something like that is wonderful. You have to leave it alone.
Now, I see the 3-pointed star, but with no circle.
Well, the circle only came later. So the trademark for Daimler and Mercedes was the star. For Benz, it was a laurel, kind of a laurel with the Benz logo in it. And later on, when the two companies merged, they merged those two elements into what we know as the 3-pointed star today. It's incredible. Look at the workmanship. I mean, I've never seen a wood-encased radiator, too. That's just absolutely incredible. Wood structure in the car was used for many, many years, even up to post-war Mercedes, where the bodies were constructed of wood and with a metal skin on top. Incredible piece of art, really. So I think we're standing next to a car that you could arguably say is the most iconic of Mercedes-Benz cars, a 300 SL Gullwing. This particular car is equipped with Rudge wheels. These are the central knockoff wheels. That was an option back in the day. Today, if you have a car that was originally equipped with Rudge wheels, it makes the car much more valuable.
Like how much more valuable?
About $70,000 more. And at the time, it was just a few $100s, the option.
Well, here on the lawn, you never know who you're going to run into, whether it's Sterling Moss or a guy that's quickly etching his place in history with the little Mercedes history. Dario Franchitti, two-time Indy 500 champion, three-time series champion, chasing number 4. You gravitated towards this.
Yeah, they're stunning. I love the Gullwing,
Yeah.
but the Roadster for me, get the top down. It's a better handling car. They're a work of art.
And Frank, tell us about this car a bit. It's a late 300 SL.
This is chassis number 3254. It was completed on February 4th, 1963. It was built during the final week of production. They built 5 cars that week. 4 were white with red leather, 1 was gray with black leather.
This is mostly an original car as well.
Mostly an original car. When I purchased it, it had been in storage from 1967 until 1997. It had about 17,000 original miles on it, and I've added another 14,000.
What's cool to note too is that as a company, we're really very good with the records. So
Absolutely.
The records tell quite a lot about the car, and they help also if people are restoring a car. They tell exactly how the car was built.
I purchased a 300 SL many years ago as an alternative kind of investment to pay for my children's college education. Now that they're in college, I'm working harder than I've ever worked because I don't want to sell the car.